The UK Home Office granted 48,107 family visas in 2022. 76% of family-related visas granted were for partners, while the remainder for children and other dependents. If you are in the UK as a spouse, civil partner, unmarried partner, or same-sex partner of a British citizen or a settled person, you're required to apply for an extension if your initial visa is expiring. The spouse visa application for extension can be just as rigorous and demanding as your initial visa application. You will again be required to evidence that you continue to meet the visa eligibility requirements in respect of your relationship and finances. You can extend your visa at any time before your current permission to stay in the UK expires. You can apply no earlier than 28 days before the expiry of your BRP. If you extend your family visa or switch to this visa, you can stay in the UK for 2 years and 6 months. If your spouse visa extension application is successful, you will be granted a further 30 months to remain in the UK, at the end of which you should have accrued 5 years of qualifying residency in the UK and become eligible to apply for an indefinite leave to remain. With so much at stake, how should you prepare for your extension application? So without further ado, let's have a look at the requirements for extending your spouse or partner visa. First up is the financial requirement. You will be required to meet the financial requirement, which means that you and your partner must have a combined income of at least £18,600 a year, or you can evidence savings of at least £62,500. There are other ways to meet these requirements too. You will be required to prove that you have extra money if you have children who are not British or Irish citizens, do not have pre-settled status, are not permanently settled in the UK. If you need to prove extra money for your children, you will need to earn an extra £3,800 a year for your first child and £2,400 a year for each child you have after your first child. You will be required to meet the English language requirement. In order to prove you meet the English language requirement, if you're applying for the extension of your visa, even after 2.5 years, you may have to pass a higher CEFR level if you want to stay in the UK after the initial period of leave has expired. What you need to do would depend on what CEFR level you passed for your first visa. If you passed level A1, you will need to pass at least level A2 in speaking and listening. Levels A2, B1, B2, C1 or C2, you can use the test results again for your application as long as your test certificate has not been withdrawn by your test provider. If you are someone who was given an exemption, you will need to pass the test at the level A1. You may be exempt from the English language requirement if you are a national of an English-speaking country like USA or New Zealand, if you're age 65 or over, or you have a physical or mental condition that prevents you from meeting this requirement. You'd also be required to meet the relationship requirement. To qualify as a spouse or partner visa extension, you will need to prove that you are in a genuine and a subsisting relationship with your spouse, who is either a British citizen or somebody who is present and settled in the UK with either an indefinite leave to remain or permanent residence. Your relationship must either be legally recognized as a marriage, civil partnership, or if you're unmarried, have proof that you have been in a relationship which is akin to marriage or a civil partnership for at least 2 years. You'll also be required to prove that you have been living with your spouse or partner for the duration of your UK residency, and that you intend to continue to cohabit throughout the period of extension and beyond. With the current changes in the reporting process, Applicants are also now required to give details of any travel that they may have undertaken to countries outside the UK where they have lived in and visited. If they have family or friends in countries where either they were born, they have a nationality, or they have spent extended periods of time. Conroy Baker is a law firm specializing in UK immigration. We help individuals with their UK immigration needs and can guide and support you through any home office process, including applications to extend your spouse visas. If you have a question about your spouse visa extension, please contact us. And as always, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching.